continuing to judge the family category. We're in room 3. My name is Robin Hills and my assistants Greg Farmer. Our lovely print handlers Tracy, Helen and Bonnie have been doing a fabulous job out the back. And on our panel of judges now that we have to join us after our break, we've got Annie, Natalie, Dave, Kelly, Nick, Charmaine, Peter. Kelly's over there again. Thank you. And Charmaine's joining us. She's from Cairns and she is a Grandmaster with 1 gold bar. Truly a legend in photography. And she's also the current Creative Professional Photographer of the Year from the 2016 awards. So thank you to our category sponsor. G Clay from Media Supplies is our sponsor. Thank you so much. And so judges, just to remind you, this is the family category and it is for intended for domestic photographers to enter images that reflect the real work you are selling or aiming to sell to your clients. So they must have been commissioned. It doesn't have to be the photo that was bought by the family, but it must be from that same session, so it's commissioned work. Okay, judges, and can we have the first print, please? Thank you. We have an average score of 78. So we have 4 78s and a 79. And can we have a brief, Charmaine, a brief comment?
Yes, just the lighting I think could be handled a little bit more directional, and just the little boy's foot, whether he could just be, looks a bit awkward.
Thank you, Charmaine. Next print, please. Thank you, judges. The average score is 79 and the print will go for review. Dave, maybe if you could give us a brief comment.
For me, there was a little disconnection in the family, but I do feel it could be printed better as well.
Okay, thank you. Next print, please. Thank you. We have an average score of 78. Annie, a brief comment?
Yeah, I think this is a lovely concept. I don't think it needs to have the 6 different images because they're not different enough. So maybe I would have chosen 3 out of these to make it a stronger story.
Thank you. We've got one of the other judges nodding as well. Thank you. Next print, please. Thank you. We have an average score of 80. And Natalie would like to challenge. Natalie's on 86. So you've got an 81, a 76 and a 74.
Yeah, as soon as this image turned around, I had a little chuckle to myself. We see a lot of family images presented in a circular format, but this is just taking it that one step further. It's comical. We've got this toddler there that really just does not want this baby in this family. Parents are adoring this baby. The lighting is beautiful. It's backlit. It's really hard to photograph. It's just a different way of producing a family image in a circular format, and I think this image needs to be rewarded.
Thank you. Charmaine on 74.
I found the retouching work on the baby around the baby's chest there. There's some sort of black scratchy stuff where they maybe not have finessed it correctly. But even the father, just if he had leaned a bit more forward, it would have been more flattering with his chin. Yeah, I think it's a moment, but I just feel a little, the finessing in the print to me is just not there.
Thank you. Nick, a brief comment. You're on 81.
I think in this instance, I don't really feel that the round crop is actually doing it justice, to be honest with you. I feel it's been crammed. And I feel that everything, I echo what Charmaine just mentioned as well, but the circle crop doesn't do it for me either.
Thank you. Back to Natalie. Your right of replying.
I hear what you're saying, and I actually didn't notice that little mark on the baby's arm, so thank you for picking that up. I don't mind that the dad's got 3 chins, because realistically mums care more about their chins than dads. Dads really don't care, and I think it just makes him just so doting and proud. And I am understanding what you're saying with the round crop, but I'm still enjoying it. It's beautiful.
Thank you. Natalie's score of 86 is locked in. The current average score is 80. Judges, please rescore now. And it stays at 80. Silver award. Thank you. Next print, please. By majority, we have an average score of 80. Silver award. Thank you. Can we have a brief comment from Annie?
Yeah, I find that this image is a little bit flat. I would like to see a bit more spark in it to go into the silver range.
Thank you very much. Next print, please. Thank you. We have a silver award, 81. Charmaine, a brief comment.
Yeah, I think there's been some good thought put into the picture. Yeah, I think silver's good.
Thank you. And next print, please. Thank you. By majority, we have a score of 79. And the print will go for review. Your scores are quite close together. In the meantime, maybe Nick, could we have a comment of what you saw?
Well, I do hope it actually goes for the silver. I think it was a wonderful capture. And I think where it actually lets itself down a bit is actually into the print quality for my liking.
Okay, thank you very much. And Annie, we're just going to keep rotating everyone through. Kelly's going to come in and join us. Don't go too far away. Thank you. Next print, please. So just while our judges are looking at the next image, to explain to the audience, when I announce a majority score, that means that there has to be at least 3 judges in the same score range. So it's a team decision. And even though the average score was something different, it's the majority score that gets announced. And we have an average score of 79. And this print will go for review. And could we hear from Natalie? Thank you.
If the author can readdress this at a later date, just the shadows are a little bit too deep, especially on the baby's face, and just the print quality as well.
Thank you very much. Next print, please. Thank you. We have an average score of 77. And yes, Natalie's nodding. She'd like to say something.
This is a beautiful concept. Unfortunately, I can see some dodging or burning issues on the left-hand side of the print and just the print quality.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Next print, please. Thank you. We have an average score of 78. Charmaine, thank you.
I think that the concept is worth working at, and I'd like to see a bit more definition between the 2 kids' bodies. It's just all merged into one.
Thank you very much. Next print, please. Thank you. We have an average score of 78. Can we have a comment? Nick, we haven't heard from you for a little bit.
I think this needs to be worked a little bit more in terms of it's professional practice. I don't necessarily feel that could be actually an award image, but definitely professional practice.
Okay, thank you very much. Next print, please. Thank you. We have an average score of 80. Silver award. Kelly, a brief comment.
For me, it's just a little bit flat, I think, and printing was just let it down a little bit, but it's a nice image.
Thank you. Next print, please. Thank you. We have an average score of 79 and the print will go for review. Charmaine would like to add a comment.
I think if the at the back there taking you through was darkened a bit more to keep you more with the giraffe and the little child, my eye was going straight through there first and then having to come back and reassess what was going on in the front.
Lovely. Thank you so much. Next print, please. Thank you. We have an average score of 76. Nick, a comment?
I can see the actual light. We have a missed opportunity here where the light's actually falling on her buttocks. I think if you turned her body the other way and made that light fall on her tummy, which is actually a maternity shoot, it will actually accentuate what we want to basically see. Just one of those things.
Lovely. Thank you so much. And Natalie, thank you. We're bringing in Peter Rossi to join us. Thank you so much. We're just going to keep everyone rotating through to keep you all fresh and sparkling and give everyone a turn. Next print, please. Thank you. We have a silver award, 81. Dave, a comment, please.
Beautiful image. Love the expressions. The frown lines are awesome. This is, a beautiful, saleable image.
Thank you. Next print, please. Thank you. The average score is 76. Peter, if you could help the photographer with what to improve.
Yeah, where possible, time of day reflects the light that you're using, and even though it may not be perfectly fitting in with the client's timetable, pointing out to them that if we did this maybe an hour or two later, you'd be squinting less, we'd get a better quality of light around you, and the picture would be much better for it. It's worth having that conversation with them.
Thank
and
you.
I think that's the only thing that's missing from there. Wrong
Lovely.
time of day.
Good feedback. Thank you. Next print, please. Thank you. We have an average score of 78. Thank you. And can we get a comment from... Who are we going to have a comment from? Oh, Nick. Thank you. Yes? Is that a challenge or just a comment?
Just a comment.
Nick,
Yeah,
thank you.
just when you. I love the graphic element that this image presents here, but I think when you're having images that you're going to do something like this, perhaps consider changing the pose for one of those images, or try to tell a story amongst that, so that we can at least, just break that thing, the actual repetition there. That's all.
Okay. Thank you. Next print, please. Thank you. Scores, please. Thank you, judges. Well done. And we have an average score of 79, and the print will go for review. And Peter, a comment?
I absolutely love the way it has been presented. What do you call 4 up?
A quad trip?
Quad trips? Yeah, they've captured... I don't know that there's much more you could do with that subject matter and the way it has been handled. So, great effort.
Thank you. Next print, please. Thank you, judges. We have an average score of 81, silver award. And Charmaine would like to
Just a comment. I would have scored this print higher had the foreground and the dog, white parts in the dog, had been handled a little bit better.
Thank
Because the
you.
emotion in the image is beautiful.
Okay, lovely. Good comment. Next print, please. Thank you. We have an average score of 79, so the print will go for review. Nick, a comment?
It's a very difficult image to judge, not for any other reason other than you see three hands there. You're trying to kind of ascertain were there supposed to be 3 children are missing. I don't know, but what the actual story hasn't been conveyed well.
Okay, thank you. Next print, please. So, print handlers, can we just take the print back and just check the orientation of it, please? It's possibly showing a little differently on our monitors. Well spotted. Thank you very much. Nice work. So, judges, what I would ask you to do is with fresh eyes, go back up to the print, and if you feel that the new orientation has changed your score, okay, so I'm just going to just hold for a moment. Can we have a blank screen, please? Okay, can we have the print back, please? And judges, you should now be able to re-enter the score, having reviewed the photo in the correct orientation. Thank you very much. And we have a silver award at 80. Thank you. Thank you for our eagle eyes in the audience. And can we have a brief comment? Yes, Peter?
Just briefly, and I know we probably should look at our prints at 90 degrees, at 180 even, just to see, and especially a print like this. For me, the story is way more natural the other way. And
Well, it changed your viewpoint.
it definitely changed my viewpoint, and I came down a couple of points because the way I read it before, this is the model family photograph, but underneath the reality is, we all know that about kids. And the other way around, it doesn't flow as well for me.
And interestingly, one of the other judges put their score up when it got turned around. So
well,
that's why we have 5 of you. Thank you very much. Next print, please. What's the problem? It won't. Okay, so can we have a blank screen, please? And can we have a techie come and look at a handset? We've got the other 4 entries in. So thank you to our sponsor, G-Clay Media Supplies, for supporting this category. We're judging the family category. Hello to our live audience here in the room. The real audience, they're waving. And hello to our onliners. I'm not quite sure how many people we've got listening in today. Thousands, apparently. Thousands, Kelly's telling me. So, Nick, would you like to tell us a little brief story about what you do and where you're from?
I was born from a migrant family in 1963. No, just kidding. I'm a wedding and portrait photographer. Dabble in a bit of fashion as well. I am based in Victoria, in Fairfield, and have been shooting. I shot my first wedding in 1989, and just love what I do. So basically, this is a weekend that it really sort of gets the whole APPA family together, and we all sort of get a chance to see each other and celebrate each other's successes and commiserate our unsuccesses, so to speak. Bad English, but hey, now that we seem to be back online, I'd love to bring it back to you.
Thank you so much, Nick. And can we have the print back, please? Thank you. And we have an average score of 81, silver award. And Nick would like to add a comment.
Since I've got the microphone, I might as well keep on talking. I really think this image would have actually gone a little bit extra. I don't necessarily think the policemen need to be there. I'm not too sure what story that is actually conveying. So unless there's something personal to that family, which is great, but unfortunately I don't necessarily see it or why it's there for us.
They might be part of the family. Yep. Okay. All right. Thank you. Next print. Sorry, Nick, on that happy note, we're just going to keep rotating the... Thank you, Nick. And Annie Payne is going to join us. Thank you. Next print, please. Dave, we don't have your score. Can you check it's been sent? Thank you. We have an average score of 79. Annie would like to challenge. Thank you. You've moved. I was looking down here for you. Annie's on 85, so you've got 3 78s and a 76.
Yeah, I think that this is a really unique family portrait. I love the colour palette and the design of the image and the ordinary everyday situation that it's in, and I especially love the expression on the little girl as well. I think it's really great.
Thank you. And let's hear from Kelly on 76.
Again, it's a little bit of a communication thing for me because I can see the same portrait session image on the fridge in the background, and I can't quite get. It's been printed. It's on the fridge. Then here she is in real life. So that's where I'm a bit disconnected with the story of it. Annie?
Thank you. Peter, just a comment to add?
I'm having trouble interpreting the spark, whether that's we're watching you, you know you shouldn't be drinking out of a jug or something. So I was just sort of not being able to explain that. I'm either waiting for you to explain a little bit more, because it's quite a significant element, the spark on the jug.
Thank you. Annie, back to you.
Yeah. First, to Kelly's point, I don't think, it's necessarily from the same portrait shoot. She's wearing the same dress, but I kind of took that as just showing us the family, again, a little part of the real life of this family. But it's quite a subtle detail as well. I think that what I love about this image is actually the artistic design of the image to start with. From back here, that beautiful colour palette and the elements within it, and then it's drawn in. Whilst it is perhaps organised, I don't feel like it's contrived. I feel like it's real, and that comes right down to the expression of the little girl and her socks. I love that. The light in the background, that gives us that it's just the fridge light. So it is using the actual fridge light. She's snuck into the kitchen, and then you've got the old-fashioned little fridge light there in the back that's coming through the water jug. So perhaps it's a little overdone to show that, but overall, as an artistic, creative image, I think that adds to it and gives us that point of where to look into the image.
Thank you. Annie's score of 85 is locked in. The current average is 79. Judges, please rescore now. And by majority, it stays at 79. So it will go for review and live a little bit longer. Thank you. Next print, please. Just for our audience information, if I announce a majority score, the average score may have been a point or two different, but it is a team decision, so there has to be at least 3 judges in the same score range, and that is the score that gets announced. We have a score of 76. Charmaine, a comment?
Yeah, I think it's a kind of a cute moment, but there's lots of things I feel take away from the image. And the rock on the right-hand side isn't in the colour palette that the image is, so I find it quite distracting. I've got to actually climb over that to get into them. And I find their tails, there's some funny sort of dark burning, not the colour is not consistent in the mermaid's tail, so they need a little bit more finessing on that.
Thank you. Next print, please. Thank you. We have an average score of 78. Sure.
Just a comment. I feel it needs more engaging in the girls, and the background tone is just not. It's either taken too early in the day. It needs to be more softer and not so stark and overtreated.
Yep. Thank you. Next print, please. Thank you. By majority, we have an 80 silver award. Peter, a comment?
At a distance, it's absolutely beautiful, and as I get closer, I see the same picture 6 times, or the same 6 times, and I yearn for a little more. There must have been other expressions. There must be other moods that the photographer could have helped the person feel, that could have given that it doesn't have to be so symmetrical to be perfect. There can be great beauty in imperfection, like not that every veil is going the same way. So I think it's a great
little bit of variety
recipe. More variety would make it more intriguing, and you'd want to get in there and you'd look at each.
Thank you so much. Next print, please. He gets very excited. We like it. Thank you. We have a majority score of 79. Yes. And Kelly is going to challenge. She's on 84. You've got an 83, 79, 78, 77.
This feels timeless to me. This feels like something that I could flick through and imagine this is my mum and her siblings. The characters in each of these individuals is bang on. I think it's believable, it's relatable. You can see the age difference. The little girl that's got a little comfort blanket that's filthy and she's just having a whale of a time. It's engaging. It's a beautiful family portrait as a set. But I think individually they hold their own really, really well. And I love the eldest, possibly on the left as well. She's a bit cheeky as well. I just think it's got so much life and so much character. I think it's really worthy of a silver.
Thank you. Dave on 77.
I hear what you're saying, Kelly, and maybe I was a little bit on the low side for it. I find it really harsh that it's cut through the shins of most of the kids. I would, all of the kids actually. I would have liked to have seen their feet. Personally, I don't like it when they're cut through the shins, but I do like the story. I do like the narrative. As far as I do agree with you, Kelly, this could be from 50, 60 years ago. So maybe I was a little bit on the low side with it, but just the cut off. That really gets to me a little. Sorry.
And Peter, a brief comment?
Just brief before positive and negative. The negative first, the shed has been softened down, which is a very important thing. You don't want a shed cutting through somebody's head or being too strong an element in the background. But boy, when you spot it and it's so soft and mushy and evident that it's been played with, that's the negative. The positive is this is way more than this is what we look like type of portrait. You can really feel the personality, the 4 personalities there. And I gave it 83, and I think it's worthy of a silver distinction.
Thank you, Peter. Kelly, your right of reply.
Glad there was a good positive in there. That's really good, because I think, just to reiterate what I've already said, I just think 4 very different age groups, challenging to photograph real, authentically. I think the photographer's done it exceptionally well. As a parent, I would love to have this of my children. I think it's definitely a silver. If you could come up a couple, I would love that.
Thank you. The current majority score is 79. Kelly's score of 84 is locked in. Judges, please rescore now. And it goes to 82, silver award. Well done. Thank you. Next print, please. Thank you. We have an average score of 77. Annie would like to challenge on 83. You've got two 77s, a 75 and a 74.
Okay. Yeah, I feel a little bit sad about this because I feel like the image is all on the right-hand side and within the family. I think that's a really, really, really strong image. There's some elements in the rest of the image that do bring it down, but I'm not talking silver distinction or gold, which I potentially would if it was different. But as it is, I really think that the emotion in the subject is real and authentic. I love the kiss with the couple. It feels really great. I love the posing and the situation and the colour tones within what they're wearing. And yeah, I think it's worthy of a silver.
Thank you. Charmaine wants to have a comment.
Yeah, I think the potential for this is really great. I love the mood of it, but I just feel like the man is nearly eating her. And for the tones in it, it would have been lovely just a gentle kiss rather than can't even see her face. So you're sort of not engaging with that. And the little boy for maybe moving the camera angle a little bit just to have the boy's head clear of this coming through the post through his head. So a couple of little finer adjustments for me would have just definitely brought it into the silver category.
Thank you. Dave, you're on 74. Anything to add?
Yeah, love the colour palette. It's beautiful. It all ties in nicely. But I find that the brightest point of the image is in the sky, well above them, and then my eye keeps going to that way. But beautiful family portrait, probably more than likely a very saleable portrait because the location obviously is important to that family, I would think. But yeah, I just can't get to silver.
Thank you. Back to you, Annie. Write a reply.
Yeah, as I said, I think there's a few technical issues bringing it down, but not out of the silver range. And I think that he really likes her. He's really kissing her, and he really means it. And I love how that bigger boy is looking up at that, like, wow, okay. You know, there's story in there and emotion and realness, and I love that about it.
Thank you. Annie's score of 83 is locked in. The current average is 77. Judges, please rescore now. And it goes to 78. So you never know. Thank you very much. Next print, please. Thank you. We have an average score of 82. Yeah, just yell out so I can see. Yep, thank you. Peter would like to challenge on 88. You've got two 81s, an 80 and a 78.
This is such a beautiful graphic image to me. Take the people out, it's brilliant. People only, it's brilliant. Put brilliant and brilliant together, it's even stronger for it. To me, we don't need to see any more than we're seeing. The tiny little silhouettes, there's joy in the shapes. It's a picture that draws you in for all the scanning bars that lead you across, the fine filigree branches. I know I'm just explaining the print, sorry. But it really is beautiful. The people are where all the action is. There's a lovely little almost altar or temple that the trees are making. It makes the family a little more sacred. It is a very pretty image that stands more than a facial type family portrait.
Thank you. Nick on 78.
I love the concept of silhouette shots, and I feel that one of the most difficult type of photograph to take are silhouettes, particularly because you can't see faces or expressions. So that means that when you do have a silhouette, like you would do perhaps shadow puppets on the wall, it needs to be spot on. So when you have things like, you know, the mother there with a hand popping out of her head, and you've got you know, the obviously little boy kicking him in the groin, so to speak. You got like the actual. It needs to be conveyed a little bit better for me in terms of when it comes to silhouette type of imagery. I do enjoy silhouettes, but the expression needs to be even more powerful.
Okay. Kelly, a comment on 81?
Yeah, I have to agree completely. I think silhouettes, there's no room for the shape needs to be pretty bang on, because that's all you've got to work with. And I think for this one, for me particularly, it's just the finessing. There's some finer details in there that just aren't quite there, that, you know, really needed to be addressed and fixed to sort of get it over the line for me personally. Thank
you. Back to you, Peter.
Yeah, I fully take on what you're saying, except the size of this image, if it had just been maybe the silhouette alone, full frame 10 by 10 inch or something, yes, I would be looking a little more for the exact juxtaposition of her hand coming out of her head. But here, against the almost infinite feel of the bush and the trees being so big, the people being so small, there's an intimacy about it.
Thank you, Peter.
And I'm grateful that they have added so much on the sides.
Lovely.
Really helping.
Thank you. Peter's score of 88 is locked in. The current average score is 82. Judges, please rescore now. And it goes to 84, silver award. Thank you. And that means it will also go for review. Thank you. And we're going to have 2 judges change just to keep us all fresh. Dave, thank you. And Kelly. So if Natalie and Nick can come in and join us, thank you very much. Thank you. And next print, please. Thank you. We have an average score of 82, silver award. And a comment? Peter?
The only thing that was detracting for me was it was the hair that seemed to be an over. I didn't see where the hair was coming from on the left side. But I love the interaction and the connection, not only of the bodies together, but the hands. Beautiful hands from the older sister.
Thank you. Next print, please. Scores, please, judges. Thank you. We have an average score of 79, and your scores are quite close together, so it will go for review. Nick's going to give us a comment.
I just would have liked to see this perhaps a different orientation may have worked better. And also just the fact that the subjects sort of blended in so much so into the background where you almost can't see the separation between the two.
Okay, thank you very much. Next print, please. Thank you. We have an average score of 82. Silver, yes. Annie would like to challenge. And Annie is on 87, so you're working with an 84, 82, 81, and a 78.
Yeah, I see this as a very strong family portrait showing the strength of the photographer all the way through. The colour tones and the balance there of what they've chosen to wear, presumably with the help of the photographer, and the expressions, it's really well thought through, and all credit to the photographer, and every single subject has got a really strong look about them. And then seeing it from a personal, real point of view, this would be an amazing wall portrait that would be the strength on a family wall for a long time. And also for the main subject, I feel like he really kind of shines in that with all his sisters. And yeah, see, on many different levels, it takes it up higher to me than just a silver.
Thank you. Charmaine on 78.
Yeah, I thought the portrait was quite nice. I scored it 78, which is in professional standard. I just thought the lighting was a bit flat and didn't draw me in. I mean, the subject matter was fantastic, but I'm open to hear other discussions on this.
Thank you. Natalie, you're on 82.
Yeah, I scored it Silver Award. I agree with everything that Annie said. The only reason I didn't actually take it to Silver Distinction was I felt that the paper chosen wasn't becoming to the image, and also the gentleman in the middle and the lady to his left, sorry, just the highlights on their foreheads were just a little bit brighter than everybody else's.
Okay, thank you. Back to you, Annie.
Yeah, I think that this is an example of everyday family portraiture taken to a higher level, really showing us what professional family portraiture is all about, without any gimmicks or anything like that. It's everyday portraiture, really, really strongly done, really well done. This is it. This is where the silver distinction comes in for me.
Thank you. Annie's score of 87 is locked in. The current average is 82. Judges, please rescore now. And the print goes to 84, Silver Award. Thank you. And it will also go for review at the end of the judging. Thank you. Next print, please. Thank you. We have a silver award at 83. Charmaine, a comment?
Just a comment. I loved the image. I just feel the printing's a bit contrasty. If they just tone that back a bit.
Thank you. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Natalie. Next print, please. Thank you, judges. We have an average score of 81, silver award. Nick, a brief comment, please.
I definitely scored it pretty much into the silver category, but I really love this image, and I think in order for us perhaps to take it further up, what you can do, I don't necessarily have the answer, to be quite frank, so you got the probably wrong person here, but I do feel it's a very strong silver, so unless someone else has something to offer.
Any other comment anyone would like? Thanks, Natalie.
Yes, I agree with Nick. One little thing I think could have taken it up a few more points was the image on the right. The mum's body and head is merging into that yellow line, and we can't see her face.
Okay, thank you. Next print, please. Thank you. We have an average score of 82. And Annie has a hand up. She's on 90. Thank you. You've got 2 83s and 2 78s. Oh, hang on. Yes, so yeah, it's just a challenge. I was just checking my numbers here.
Yep.
Okay, thanks, Annie.
Awesome. Okay, cool. I haven't ever seen anything like this before. I mean, I know what it is. It's like a little paper doll and a dress-up scenario. But I just think, great adaptation for the photographer to present this to us. And it's so quirky and exciting, and the colour they've brought into it, the treatment they've used is really great. And the thing that really got me into gold is remembering that this category is about what photographers want to sell to their clients every day, and how cool. This is something new, this is something different, and they're selling this to their clients. So, I really applaud it for that, and totally puts me into that unique gold category.
Thank you. And we might hear from Natalie.
I agree with what you're saying, that it's unique and different, but to me, I found the image quite flat and a little bit too... didn't feel like there was enough photographic elements in there for me to just take it into that award category. I'd love to hear from somebody else. I'm a little confused on this image, to be honest.
Thanks. Peter on 83.
I'm looking at this picture a little bit more than a family portrait, but rather a social statement with undertones of advertising, of kids growing. Maybe I'm just taking too much out of it, but kids becoming adults much earlier than they used to. great societal manipulation of, the baby's got to be dressed like the girl, the need for the girl to have different hats, crowns, handbags. Yes, maybe it could have been done even to more extreme of that, if that's the point they were getting to, but I am enjoying that twist on it. So maybe it's something for others to have a think. Does that work for you or not?
Thank you. Back to Annie.
Yeah, thanks, Peter. That's amazing to sort of also take it to, point out the artistic side of it and how amazing that is as something different as well. I think obviously it is a hard one to judge because it's so unique, and I was even really just giving it that merit based on seeing it from the point of view of the family purchasing it and the little girl having this as something in her life that she's going to treasure forever. I mean, it's just got so much quirkiness to it, and I feel like with Peter adding those other elements about the social elements and what it could be and what artistically what it could be, there's so many levels to this, and I really think that this is what takes us into the gold area when we really make us think outside of our usual box. So well done to the photographer.
Thank you, Annie. Annie's score of 90 is locked in. The current average score is 82. Judges, please rescore now. And by majority, the score is 84. Silver award, which means it will also go for review. Thank you. Next print, please. Thank you. We have an average score of 78. Charmaine, a brief comment? Thank you.
Just maybe a little bit more space under her feet would be better. Not so tight.
Lovely. Thank you. Next print, please. Thank you. We have an average score of 80, silver award. Nick, thank you.
This has a lot of potential, and I would have loved to perhaps seen the actual subject just brought down to almost mimic the actual foreground to have that kind of a nice sort of balance. Otherwise, I think it's really good.
Thank you very much. Next print, please. Thank you. We have an average score of 81, silver award. Nick would like to challenge. He's on 86. You've got 2 81s, an 80 and a 78.
I'll be frank with you, and I don't kind of like to have too much writing when it tells a story, but I feel that the imagery also tells a story, and I kind of be in touch with my feminine side here for a moment. It is very much what a woman goes through when she goes through pregnancy. There's times where she feels awful and yuck and just like, oh my God, you know, I feel terrible and all that sort of stuff. Then you have the other side where she's actually feeling, you know, beautiful and she can't wait for the child to come out. And I love the way that the photographer has retouched one side of it to have that sort of beautiful feeling. The next side you have that kind of sort of rough and ready type of retouching. So I really feel that even though we have the words, we do have the contrast of the actual imagery to kind of match that. So, you know, I think every point counts. I really feel that you guys should perhaps consider going at least to a silver distinction. Hopefully, to reward this photographer for doing this.
Thank you. Can we hear from Annie, please?
Yeah, I think it sits well in silver. I love the story of it and the nice soft colour tones. But the thing that bothers me about it is the harshness of the line of the circle around separating the subject from the words, and then the line going down to the top of her head. That competes with the rest of the softness of it for me.
Thank you. And could we hear from, who have we got here? Natalie. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm happy with this to be in the silver range. One thing that confused me is I'm just wondering whether on the left and the right, are they still both pre the baby being born, or is the right after the baby's born? Because she's saying there's baby girl, but she's still pregnant. So I'm just a little confused at the concept of telling this story. So I'm happy with it in silver.
Thank you. Back to you, Nick.
On that, there's actually, she says, I can't wait to see you. That's one of those things. The other thing is, we all get to know that when we do, what do you call those things that women do? The scan thing, you know. So, and that's, we can tell it's a boy or a girl. I'll be like when you're looking at this, that harsh line you're talking about, and I go, this might sound really sexist, but one minute my wife loves me, the next minute she wants to kill me. So there's that harshness becomes that's a kind of feeling that you get when you're in that particular position, when you're hormonal and you're going through that. Women, you got 3 women here. Help me out here. So, that's where I'm actually seeing that. That's the story that I'm seeing. So,
okay, thank you. So, Nick's score of 86 is locked in. The current average is 81. Judges, please rescore now. Thank you. And the print goes to 82, silver award. Thank you very much. Thank you. Can we have a blank screen, please? So, my dear judges, you've worked very hard, and we are towards the end of this category. Not yet. You've got a little bit more work to do. So, we're going to do reviews. So, we still need all of our panel to stay and our panel who are sitting off. In case a print comes up that you would like to step back from, even as a review print, you are still allowed to do that. So it'll just be a couple minutes and we will get reviews underway. So while we're waiting, why don't we just have a little talk to a couple people? Maybe Charmaine, would you like to tell us, I believe you're the current creative photographer of the year. So tell us what that is and how it came about.
Just with a couple of days to go, and then it's a new creative photographer of the year. Yeah, it was really exciting. That was my first time of entering creative, so that was really cool.
And what does that involve?
As in the images, because you can...
You can enter up to 4 different categories,
Yes. And I decided with my images that I would put a couple in illustrative and 2 in portrait.
Okay.
So that was exciting. Yeah, it's always a steep learning curve when you enter the awards because there's so much great stuff out there, and you always have to dig deep to think what will I do this year and what will I plan, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, it's every year the bar seems to be getting raised higher and higher. But it's also, I think it's so great for us as photographers. It forces us to always think further. Yeah, so looking forward to seeing lots of images this weekend.
Lovely.
And the winners on Monday night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you got your frock sorted?
Actually, I bought a frock on what afternoon was it, Pete? The day before we left? Yeah. And it's got to be altered. So tomorrow I've got to find a dressmaker here. So maybe some Melbourneites can tell me where I can go to get my dress altered.
Well, it's going out.
Yeah.
It's going out live streaming, so I'm sure you'll get an offer of help.
So we'll be looking at my dress now on the night. No, it's all good. But
no pressure.
No pressure.
So how did you? Hang on a second.
Yeah, how did I?
So I was just going to briefly ask you, what did you do with your title? Did you use it to promote your business?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, with the local paper and stuff. But it was quite good. It was just awareness, and it was more for our client base, really.
Lovely.
To keep them up to speed with what we're doing and of our work's a certain standard and all that sort of stuff. So
super duper.
Yeah, definitely important.
Thank you very much. So judges, just to refresh the process of what we go through, you've all got a little card that says yes or no. So be very sure about which side you show me, because it's a majority decision. So once I get 3 of one colour, that decision will be made. So you will be welcome to come up and have a look, and we would then like you to go back to your seats so the audience can also see what it is that you're reviewing. So I will read out what the current score is. So if it's 79, this score is 79. Do you want to stay at 79, or do you want to yes to go up to 80? So yes is up, or no to stay. Any questions? No. So no discussion amongst the panel, please. And can we have the first print, please? So this print is on 79. Do we want to go back to your chairs, please? Do we want to keep it at 79, or yes to upgrade it to 80? No, it stays at 79. Thank you. Next print, please. Is that the right speed? Yep. This print is at 79. Do we want to keep it at 79 or upgrade to 80? It stays at 79. Thank you. Next print, please. This print is at 79. Or yes, do we want to upgrade to 80? No, unfortunately, it stays at 79. Thank you. Next print, please. This print is at 79. Or yes, do we want to upgrade to 80? No, it stays at 79. Thank you. Next print, please. This print is at 79. Or yes, do we want to upgrade to 80? No, it stays at 79. Thank you. Next print, please. This print is at 79. Or yes, do we want to upgrade to 80? No, it stays at 79. Next print, please. This print is at 84. 84. Do we want to stay at 84 or upgrade to 85? No, it stays at 84. Next print, please. This print is at 84. Do we want to keep it at 84 or upgrade it to 85? Unanimously 85, silver with distinction. Congratulations. Thank you. Next print, please. This print is at 84. Do we want to keep it at 84 or upgrade to 85? No, it stays at 84. Thank you. Next print, please. This print is at 79. Do we want to keep it at 79 or upgrade to 80? No, it stays at 79. Next print, please. This print is at 79. Do we want to keep it at 79 or upgrade to 80? And no, it stays at 79. Next print, please. This print is at 79. Do we want to keep it at 79 or upgrade to 80? And yes, it goes to 80, silver award. Congratulations. Thank you. And that is the end of the family category. Thank you so much. Thank you to all our judges and our sponsor, G Clay Media Suppliers. Thank you so much. And in this room next is the travel category. This is room 3, and we need Richard Bennett, Kelly Tunney, Nuran Zolu, Jackie Rankin, Gary Krenich, Nick Gionis, and Phil Karavuta. So if your names are not on this list, please go and check outside and find which room you're in. We're going to go straight into... Thank you.